What's going on, everybody? I am Walter Hooper, owner of W.A. Hooper Marketing, and first and foremost, thank you for tuning in and checking out this latest episode of Marketing Minds Meet. And it's been a minute, I know, but we've had a lot happening, a lot of the things, but have no fear, we are back, and we're here with a special guest. They are the marketing coordinator for the Grosse Pointe Chamber of Commerce, located, if you're a GP or you're familiar with the area, they're located in the village, the hill.
Mm-hmm.
The hill. Yeah, almost.
Not far.
Yeah. No. But yes, they are on the hill. In the city of Grosse Pointe, and I am here with Wright. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
So first and foremost, Richelli, we're kind of going to do a little bit of a twofer. We're going to talk about the chamber, and then we're going to talk about your line of work that you do as a owner of your own company.
Yep.
In business. So tell us first about your journey, how you got started with the Grosse Pointe Chamber of Commerce.
So I've been an East Sider. I always say my whole life, but I have moved a lot, but I always move back, right? So St. Clair Shores, Grosse Pointe is very much my home, and it's my home base. And to be super transparent, I got very involved in it from a business perspective and a marketing perspective in that community. First, as a business owner, right, that does digital marketing, because everything's very old school over there. Everything, St. Clair Shores and Grosse Pointe, East Point, Harbor Woods, all that area. I think part of the beauty of why it always feels so homey is it is a very, very local, mom and pop owned feel. Almost everything over there is like that. And that's amazing. But as we move into a digital age, they have kind of fallen behind a little bit, right? So with that being my area of expertise, I was just super passionate about helping to make sure that these staples that I've grown up with, these businesses that I love being at, can stay ahead and they can stay thriving in business, as well as bringing in new business that is innovative, that's fresh, that's new, that's younger as well sometimes, so that it can stay this great local, community. So I was a chamber member for a long time before I was more involved with it, and put on a lot of seminars, workshops, as much education and one-on-one attention I could give. There are over 600 members in the Grosse Pointe Chamber, but what makes us unique is that it's almost all small businesses. We don't have industry in Grosse Pointe. So it is very one-on-one as a touch point. But then last September, I joined on in a more formative capacity in the membership and marketing area. And we also recently... I had the fortune of going through a rebranding project with the College of Creative Studies. So now we're fresh and clean, and we've got a brand and a vision and mission and all these things as well. The Chamber's been around for about 15 years, but it feels amazing. It's really exciting time, and it's been great to just have even more involvement, and for the same reason that I started in the first place.
That is quite the story. I love it.
Yeah.
So there's just so much. There's so much history, but like you said, it all, kind of revolves back to, you recognize that there's a community, and you wanted to be a part of it. You wanted to help in the growth and evolution of it. So tell me something. So one of the questions that she actually asked me for their podcast, which I thought was such a great question, was what were some memorable experiences that you remember being in the chamber and as a business owner and as the marketing coordinator for the chamber?
Yeah. Well, truthfully, I mean, so my business is called Wright Outcomes. I take my last name and we'll make it right. So, but I, over the years, just had the, good fortune of eventually you put yourself out there enough, you meet enough people who know enough other people that you can start connecting. And I was able to work with a lot of amazing business owners in Grosse Pointe, a lot of in the village area, in the park, but also in the woods and then areas in St. Clair Shores. And especially with that community, it's kind of like once you're in, and word of mouth just picks up. So just being able to help people who have been in business a long time and like really either revamp or re-engage their audience, as well as people who were starting businesses completely from scratch. And what I think has been the most rewarding and memorable overall experience of that is that I live in this community. I see the direct result of my work and how it benefits the community, how it benefits the business owners' lives, and how they're benefiting the community. And just like knowing I can pretty much go most places and I probably have a connection somewhere. So it really does just feel super homey all the time. You're kind of like, it is fun to be able to go, to different restaurants or businesses or whatever you're doing and know the people there. That to me, I think is really the most memorable. I'm Sicilian. I come from a big Sicilian family, so that it just expands my family. It just feels like we're just one big family a little bit. And I think that's what keeps me coming back. And that's certainly what made it a no-brainer for me when the chamber reached out and asked me to come on board more officially.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, even though I'm still like fresh out of the gate with my membership with the Grosse Pointe Chamber. I've noticed, I came from another organization that I feel like they lost sight of what the true value of their members were. Utilizing and calling upon their members for certain things, and to be honest, I was kind of disenfranchised with the idea of a chamber, but then, finding out about you guys and then, corresponding with you and some of the other individuals in the office who have been fantastic, it kind of put that spark in the flame again of, this is what it feels like. It
can feel like that. It's possible.
So again, I got to thank you first and foremost for just being extremely, hospitable and, just listening to your members. You know what I mean? Like, I get that. Mm-hmm. So speaking of listening with your members, I noticed because they do their own podcast called The Chamber Chats. It's fantastic. And so what are some ways that, without giving away secrets, but, what are some ways that you are looking to promote your fellow chamber members in marketing, through, within the chamber and within the community?
Yeah, it is taking that holistic approach of remembering that we're here for the businesses for the purpose of the community, right? Like, it's one thing we can sit here and promote a business till we're blue in the face, but if it's not reaching the community, if it's not reaching the people who are actually going to be able to now spend money there, contribute there, participate there, then it's a waste of time, right? We also, again, I think this also speaks to the chamber. Our chamber is small business focused. We don't have industry. So it is extremely imperative that we are very intimate with our members. Our members, though, are also nonprofit organizations, the schools, a variety. It's not just profit businesses, right? So it really is a community as a whole. But I know for me, especially with my marketing background and watching trends and watching the way things are going, I am always trying to find easy barrier or removing barriers, right, from our members to help them create content, specifically more evergreen content that they can reuse a lot, so they're not feeling like they have to always create something new every day. I know that's something they stress about. And then, doing things like I provide little marketing minutes, little tips that I'll send out to our members of like, they're longer than 5-minute videos at the most of like, here's something that can cut down on your time of scheduling content. You might have not even known you could have done that, right? Schedule your content ahead of time, or how to batch content out, or let me give you a quick tutorial on how to do this thing that you're probably like, man, this would be great if I knew how to do it, right? Because similar to what we talked about before is the biggest barrier is people get overwhelmed, they don't get started with it, right? So if I can cut down on a lot of that, of like, let me give you the first 2 steps, let me give you the first 3 steps, or let me provide the service for you, as from like, with this podcasting where we can put this up on YouTube, we can put this up on Spotify, you can share this forever, right? Because it's good, it's not just one post and done. Anything to give them more of those tools and then allow them to also feel encouraged and less intimidated by doing these things is just going to help them stay ahead of the curve as well too. So we're always coming up with, I have a million ideas in my head. It's a lot of it's time, right? I'm one person, but it's been great because I'll go to networking events or I'll meet with members, and while I might not hear back via email, or I can see that people have watched things or listened to things, that's when I get to have more discussion around like, oh, that marketing tip really helped me. I have saved so much time now. And so, they're encouraged of like, great, I guess I can do this. We can do this. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And you're offering an insight and tip for the members to help save time.
Yeah. Because
time is of the essence, especially if you, as you know, running your own business.
Right.
Time is of the essence.
Right.
And so if you can find those little hacks to help you save on that time, and not waste it, but utilize it in a way that's, going to help propel, the members, company, all the power. Like, and again, I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah.
So tell me about the journey of your company, how you started, what motivated you, what inspired you to want to go down the entrepreneurial path.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate that I have a lot of entrepreneurs in my family. I grew up around a lot of entrepreneurs. My grandfather has been, most of my family are, a lot of them do jobs too, but I have a lot of strong entrepreneurial influence. And so this path didn't feel so intimidating, right? Like as a lot of people would be like, oh, starting their own business, that'd be scary. But first, I'm a musician at heart, like I went to school, fancy pieces of paper. I'm a pianist, and I'm a piano teacher, and I still am. But that is essentially how my journey got started. I started getting students, right? And I was working for myself. Even at first, I wasn't even working in other music schools. I was my own studio. So to build that studio, I got to market myself. I got to learn how to do that. But then I also went to school and got a degree in music business. Like I was telling you, it's like a hyper-focused marketing degree. That's what the music business is. And I also, again, had the great fortune of some other music school owners allowing me at like 19, 20 years old to start using what I was learning in school in real time to help promote the schools. So I've done a lot of the different facets of, just like with any small business owner, we wear all the hats, right? So I've done all the hats, anything bookkeeping and just bills or whatever, scheduling, that sort of administrative stuff as well too. But I really was always drawn more toward the marketing side because you got to market, it brings in the money, right? It brings in the clientele. So for a long time, most of my marketing efforts on top of teaching piano and building my own clientele was to help build the studios that I was working at. So it was very music focused. I also was an artist manager at one point for a small label. So, it all different, or a touring manager as well. I did stuff like that. So writing bios and press kits, a lot of it was physical marketing, especially back in more earlier 2000s when we didn't have as much social media. But then, my only interest isn't just music, right? I'm interested in a lot of things. So I was able to then branch out and start working with other businesses. Like I started with a bakery and then worked with a salon, and realized that that's also the same way that music is so fun, is that working with a variety of business owners, it keeps it fresh, keeps it interesting, keeps me creative too.
Yeah, amen to that. Amen to all of that. Yeah, and also being a musician myself, I'm being in bands, still being in a couple actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah, I remember we even had a conversation, not that it was about last week, mm-hmm. and we noticed that people that are musicians almost tend to go down the path of marketing.
Yeah, it's that creativity.
Yeah, no, it really is, and I think having those experiences, having to promote other bands, having to promote yourself in your music studio, having to promote. It's all promotion, mm-hmm. You could have, that's why I feel like behind the scenes type of work when it comes to musicians and bands is just as, if not more important than having like the actual talent. Who knows like what some of the greatest bands would have been if they didn't have like their managers or their marketers,
exactly.
Working for them, or if even they themselves were the masterminds behind it. So tell me about what is it that you specialize in and help with with your line of work for clients.
So I focus on the organic digital marketing component. So these are everything you're putting out for free, right? And I'm not super focused on the paid ad area of stuff, not because I don't find it valuable, but mostly because it's a beast in itself, right? Marketing and advertising, they're two different words, they're two different things. So I focus on the organic marketing aspects of business, specifically more strategy and long-term solutions, right? Because there's so much focus on social media, especially platforms like Facebook, Instagram, where we're constantly having to create content. It's super important to me that we're also not forgetting that there are other marketing aspects we can do to create, especially if we're wanting to be in business for a long time. Posting on Facebook every day is not a strategy, right? So how are you creating content that's going to work for the long run? How are you creating content and putting out content that is going to bring you business when you aren't posting on Facebook, right? So this is things like focusing on your SEO, email marketing, you're making sure you have a website that's converting and working. Looking at other platforms like Pinterest, YouTube that focus on long-term, reachability and things like that. I also know that takes away some of the overwhelm of having to post on social media a lot too. So that's where more of my stuff aligns, is looking at all of your digital aspects. How do they connect? How do we optimize them? How do we save you time? And also create, more of this referral system that, these are things that don't work overnight necessarily, right? The stuff that I do, but a few months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, they certainly are bringing you back much larger returns. Yes, to all of that. It doesn't happen overnight, and I think that's a big misconception I think a lot of people have with our industry, mm-hmm. is, it's just going to happen. No, it's not. It's like, I use the gym analogy. You're not going to go in and start lifting the heaviest weights because you'll damage yourself. Right. Excuse me, you got to continue, you got to condition. And, so you're essentially like you do basically mm-hmm. digital consulting. Correct. Digital marketing consulting. And I think that's really important, because people don't see the bigger picture. They're only trying to they're zooming in, on one certain aspect of
what of their marketing campaign. So somebody like you comes in and, they say, you go, okay, your social media marketing is strong here. Maybe you could take out some of this to, filter out like some of the tedious work. Or, hey, maybe you need some, more of a video presence. You can add that to your social media, but also, too, maybe having a YouTube page to put, like, the longer content. SEO strategy. That's part of what I do as well. It's that's a different entity in and of itself, but just as important, if not more important, than the front end.
Mm-hmm.
So now what we're going to do, not to switch gears here, but we're going to add a little element of fun before we sign off here. So before we do that, we're going to go live on social media on my Facebook page, and we're going to play a little game.
Okay.
2 truths and a lie.
Okay. Oh, we got to think of things.
So you got to think of things. So if you want, I can go first. So then that way you can think.
That's fine.
Okay. All right, so we're going in 3, 2, 1. All right, live. So yeah, it's going. So what's going on, everybody? Walter Hooper, WA Hooper Marketing. Again, hi, Walter Hooper, WA Hooper Marketing, and I'm here today with Richelle Wright. She's right there, right there. She is the marketing coordinator for the Grosse Pointe Chamber of Commerce. And a little fun fact, my company just became a member there, what was it, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, maybe a month now.
No, it hasn't been a month already.
It might have been. We're in July.
Oh my gosh.
We might be encroaching on the month.
Well, how does the time fly?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Anyways, so we're about to play a little fun game here. 2 truths and a lie. This was actually inspired by a colleague of mine. Her name's Kanitha Amore Porter of Amore Women. That's right. What up, Cap? And we did this at a mixer that our networking group had a couple, probably about a week or so ago. It was like towards the end of June. So, with that being said, are you still thinking about yours?
I'm getting it, but you can go first. So that way I can kind of I'll figure it out.
All right, so we're gonna play 2 truths and a lie. And so with that being said, so my 2 truths and a lie. So for those of you that don't know how to play the game, you got to figure out which one is a lie. When I was 15, I got to swim with sharks in the ocean. Obviously, they don't live in fresh water.
Thank God.
yeah, she said thank God. I got to meet Daryl McDaniels from Run DMC at my alma mater, Oakland University. And the last fact, or is it a lie? My band got to open up for All Time Low at the Emerald Theater. So,
oh my,
which is the lie?
Maybe the first one, the sharks. No.
Yes.
Oh
my God, I gotta get better at this.
No. You might have you swam in the ocean?
Oh yeah.
Well, then you never know. You might have swam with sharks.
Yeah, maybe. I hope not.
Not to terrify you, but they're out there. So.
Well, I was in California.
Yeah.
I was in San Francisco when I swam. It was great. So with that being said,
all right.
Are you?
I think I can do this. Let's see.
You can do this. I know you can do this.
I have lived in 8 different states. I have, so that's one. Okay. I have recorded an album as a pianist with the Yin Yang Twins, and
I hope that's true.
Let's see. I have also worked with a lot of, was able to work directly in Edwin McCain. He sang Al B in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
In his studio in South Carolina, I was able to work with him and many artists for some years.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. All right. I'm going to say... This is a good one.
Is it? I feel like it's tricky. I felt like this was hard.
Well, I know you traveled around.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say the Yin Yang Twins is the lie.
It is not.
What?
I've lived in 6 states. I haven't lived in 8.
Oh,
so
well.
I tricked you there. Right? Yeah, that was it. I've lived Michigan, Texas. I've lived 6 states. I think that number is right. It's not 8. I know that. No, the Yin Yang Twins is true. When I was 19 years old, I worked at a music distribution company that no longer exists. But they were in Houston when I was living in Houston. I was also serving as a studio musician there because it was more of like a full in-house studio. And I was also homeschooling the kids of the people who own the studio as well as other kids of employees. It was like a homeschool it was I don't want to say it was a cult, but I was a full-time music teacher for these kids on top of being the studio musician, and they were very more involved in the hip-hop and rap culture and industry, especially within Houston, which is a big area for music there. But one Christmas, the Yin Yang Twins came in town to record a Christmas album, and it's called The Yin and the Yang of the Holidays. This was in 2008 or 9, 8. Yeah, 2008.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. They were, on the downside, like that way they weren't at their peak anymore, but people still absolutely knew who they were. And very basic piano stuff in the background. I think you can find it on Apple Music. It's really
oh, we're gonna find this. This is happening.
You gotta play it at Christmas time. Duck the Club. It's great. I know. This is my claim to fame. I did also work with Edmund McCain in South Carolina. He was amazing. And I loved being able to bring artists into his studio, and he was such a really nice, humble person. So,
yeah, I remember watching him. I think he did like the I Love the 80s.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
yeah, he was like one of the commentary people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he always just seemed like a down to earth.
He
guy.
is. He does most of his touring and traveling in the Carolinas because he's so popular. He doesn't really have to leave. Goes and sings his songs and calls it a day. But yeah, that was really fun. So,
well, there you have it. She played on a Yin Yang. That for all our fellow millennials that are going to be tuning in. Yeah, look it up. I know I will be. I'll be streaming that while I'm working after.
Oh.
So, well, you got me.
It's rough.
You stumped me.
Yeah.
So how can people, Richelle, how can they find you with the Grosse Pointe Chamber if they're looking to maybe, exercise the idea of wanting to become a member or just finding out more information about the chamber itself? And then followed by how can they find out about you and your business if they need marketing consulting?
Yeah. So if you are a part of the Grosse Pointe community or St. Clair Shores, East Point, Harper Woods, even Detroit, or you do business in the Grosse Pointe community, you're more than welcome to be a part of the chamber. You can go to Grosse Pointe Chamber. Now I'm thinking, is it commerce? It's Grosse Pointe. I'm losing it.
GrossePointeChamber.com.
GrossePointeChamber.com.
For the assist.
That we have all, you can apply online right there, or you can email us at info@GrossePointeChamber.com. Happy to answer any questions that you might have about as well benefits and membership and what that all looks like. For myself, you can visit my website at Wright Outcomes, WRIGHT, .net, not .com, .net. And it's pretty basic right now, similar with Walter here. We're going through a little bit of a rebrand as facelift. I think websites are always work in progress. But you can book a marketing Q&A consultation with me as well if you want to, like if you're ever one of those pick my brain sessions, or there's a contact form if you just want to reach out and chat. I also have a resource page on there that contains almost 50 different marketing training videos and tutorials and downloads that are inside a Facebook group that I have that you're welcome to binge and learn as well. So Wright Outcomes, WRIGHT.net.
Yeah, I was just perusing the site. It's very sharp. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, and again, I want to give just a quick shout out and a testimonial to Richelli and the Chamber. Again, I think for those of you that know, I was kind of looking for a new home for a chamber, and just right away the correspondence and the attention to wanting to help out and do some collaborations like this. I saw it at the collaborative. Has just been astounding. And so, like Richelli said, if you are in the Metro Detroit region, you are in Harper Woods, Grosse Pointe, St. Clair Shores, Roseville, East Point, East Side, East Side for life.
East Side.
Check it out. It's a great community, and I've already gotten to know a couple of the members through through the first mixer that was last month.
Yeah.
That evening mixer, which I brought a couple people to, and they really enjoyed themselves.
Perfect.
So, and of course, marketing consulting. Look, I mean, I'm a marketer. Like, I can help you with videos and social media, all that fun stuff. You guys know that. But it's nice to have somebody that can kind of help see the bigger picture. Where can the video go? How effective can it be on social media? That type of thing. So it's nice to have those set of eyes that can just zone in and really help out and scope in. Agreed.
Then that way I can be like, great, here's your plan. Now you can go to Walter and get it all done.
Well, thank you so much, Richelli. I hope you have fun.
Yes, thank you. This was fun.
So I'm Walter Hooper of WA Hooper Marketing. Thank you for those that have tuned in or will be tuning in to this live portion of this interview, and we will see you next time.